Hey, what's up? Welcome back to Mill. Show you a couple things. So I was gonna start this video in a few minutes, but I'm getting into something important I want to show you. But I'm going to give you a quick update on the log yard here. So I'm going to walk around with the camera a little bit. I've got a gimbal that my wife bought me a couple years ago, and I'm going to try that out pretty quick here. But regardless, if you guys don't like walking around and the stupid handheld camera shots, then beat it. You know, don't much care. But let me show you what's happened with the log yard here. So I don't know if you can see this, but that big pile's gone that was right there. I had graded this whole hill out, so if you see in the background right there, that pitch, this whole hill was all nice graded out to that. And the wife wants to do what's called the hugel culture. That's right, hugel culture, along through here. I think I told you about that in a previous video. You can see I've started loading it up with organic. Any bucketfuls of roots, and we got some logs in here, some old logs that are all rotted. That's all going to get buried in here. I am flattening out this top. I'll give you a better view for the kiln. Give you a better view here. So you can see from the mill over now, we got a big flat spot. This was at this pitch here, and the wife came out and she looked and said, wow, that looks great, but hills suck and they don't really do us any good. We need flat spots. So she asked me to terrace this hillside. So I'm going to take from about that tree to here, make that flat up top, and I'm going to put the kiln right there. That's facing south, which is that way, south. See where the sun is there? It's just about noontime right now, due south. So she wants a stand-up hugel culture along there, and I'm going to integrate a greenhouse in with her kiln, with the kiln that's going to go up there. I will take all those logs out of there and flatten out that whole spot, and there's a bunch of firewood back in there too. That's will come out of there. But so yeah, this place got way bigger. It's nice and flat. But I want to show you something. We got a pretty unique little project, a little cut job to do today. It would probably take me 30 minutes if I wasn't filming. But I've got a local kid making an oar. Yes, an oar. An oar for a canoe. He made his canoe and he's making an oar. So he asked me for a hardwood chunk, 1.5 inches thick. By 8 inches wide, by about 5-6 feet long. And I wanted to give it to him dry so he doesn't have to wait. And I've got all one of the options was maple. So I have all this maple over here, dried. I cut these 6-7 years ago. They're big, long maple slabs, and then these slabs out of a crotch log. A tree that was actually sitting right kind of where that blue tarp is right there, that I had to take down. And what I was going to do was I was going to take one of these slabs, cut a chunk out of it 8 inches wide, and then resaw it down to 1.5 inches because he doesn't have a lot of woodworking tools to break the slab down. However, the slab cut off of that crotch log is plenty thick enough to take his piece out of. So if I put my hand down here, you can see it's a pretty thick chunk here. And I've got good length. His length is kind of right to about here, just past this big bump that you see there. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to see if I can take his chunk out of this log, or out of the slab cut, before I break up a slab and ruin a slab. Now I'm sure there's some in there that have got some damage to them that I could break apart, which wouldn't be a big deal. But before I do that, I'm going to try and take it out of this first. And then my other option is I have an old, dry white oak log This stuff's like cutting granite. An old dry white oak log right here that I pulled out of my firewood pile. So that firewood pile over there is a maybe we can mill some of it pile. It's firewood as far as I'm concerned, but however, the logs in there are millable. And so they're sitting there. And this was one of them, this white oak log right here. This is super old. I had cut it off a chunk where I milled some trailer decking. I can definitely get a piece out of that too, and that white oak would be great for his ore. So that's a secondary option. I'm going to start with that, see if I can do it out of that. If there's checking in this that won't allow it to work, so you guys can see some of the checks in the top of this slab cut here. But if there is checking in it that won't allow this to work, I'm going to go to that as a secondary. And then my final option would be to take a slab out of there and cut an 8-inch wide piece out of it and resaw it down to 1.5 inches. True both sides for them. It's going to be shaped and rounded and everything, so it's not really critical that it's flat, but that's what I'm getting up to today. Now I've got a couple of big orders in the pipeline. I've got a 20 log pile here to cut down to 5/4, and I also have a big order coming in for he's doing his measurements today for floor joists, 2x6 floor joists for a job that I made the concrete forms for. So they're done pouring their basement, and now they need 2x6 floor joists, and those dimensions are going to come into me today. So a couple of big jobs coming in that are going to really milk through some of the stuff that I have here. And when I go to that 2x6 floor joist job, that's going to be interesting, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to mill off my monster logs first and my trash logs. So up there in that pile, I've got some monster white pine and pitch pine. I'm going to mill those first because they're hard to deal with. I'll mill any monsters out of this, and then depending on the dimensions he gives me, probably mill through some of the trash white pine logs that you like, that one right there. See if I can save anything out of them, but I'm going to mill all the big stuff and get the big stuff out of here so I can concentrate more on stuff like that. That's easy to roll fast, you know. But anyway, I'm about to throw a band on this, and I was going through this and I found something that's really important. So one thing that I do, should I show you, what should I show you first? Okay, I'm going to show you this first so I can put you back in the holder. Inside this band wheel, you can see Norwood Sawmills band wheel. One thing that I have found in milling a lot of pitchy pine and stuff like that, I don't know if you can see this right here. Inside this band wheel is a chunk of sap in here. I'm going to chip that out of there. Now you would never see it if you look in there. You know, there's this buildup in here is basically nothing, but if you roll it around, every now and then you'll see a big bump in there, and that's going to obviously, I don't know if it's going to affect the way your saw cuts, but it's definitely going to affect the way the saw runs. I can see one right here. So I'm going to chip some of that out of there. And also I want to show you how, if you see this band wheel here looks so nice and clean, I just cleaned it, and I did this one also, and I'll show you how I do that real quick. I'm going to put you in the holder. I thought this was important, and then before I get to milling that, I'll put you on pause so that you're not sitting around, but I thought this was important from a sawmill standpoint, and specifically Norwood, from a maintenance standpoint. You can see I moved my maple table over here to the end of the mill. You know, it was sitting over there. I think this is a kind of a good spot for it for now. We'll see. Kind of gives me a work surface at the end. I can still walk in between, but I'll show you how I clean the band wheels, and then I'm going to take some of those chunks out of that wheel and show you what they look like. So it's part of general maintenance. But what I do is, as a contractor woodworker, I use the term contractor, meaning that I go out and build shit in all different phases of construction. I don't have my contractor's license, but I obviously have tons of sandpaper lying around from random orbits and everything else, and I keep them in my pack, the worn out ones. And when I see a lot of buildup on the wheel, basically all I do is just, hold these worn out ones on here, let it run around, and just go till it basically feels clean. And it cleans it off. Doesn't remove any of the rubber or anything like that, but it takes all the sawdust off, and it does it real fast. And then I do the same thing over here. Basically what I do is I work on this top flat surface right here, so I'll just kind of do this and roll it over a little bit, and then do that, and then roll it over a little bit and do that until this belt's clean. But these bumps in here are a different animal, and I just started discovering them when I was cleaning. So you can see one right here. You got to get these out of here. I'll show you what they look like. Where'd that go? So it's, let's see if I get this in focus. But it's a pretty good chunk of crap, and it creates a bump, and they stay inside there, and it's just sap and other shit that got stuck together and ends up on the inside of this band wheel, and you need to get it out. Now, a screwdriver works fine. I have found some of them that were really hard, and I had to actually hit the screwdriver with a hammer. But so take you out of the holder and show you that. Probably not, but you're just going to roll around here, and don't want anything messing with my belts. There's quite a bit of it in here, especially cutting a lot of the pitchy pine and stuff like that, like I have been cutting. Here's another big one. This one might need the hammer, I'm not sure. I'll try it without. And one of the reasons why I noticed it is that as I was cleaning this belt one day, there's another big, huge chunk right there. As I was cleaning this belt one day, I was rolling it through here, and I could, oh, right there, I saw, like right here, right where I just did that, I saw the belt bump out. It's doing it right now. It's going to be, oh, Jesus, yeah. So I really want to show you this, because I don't think I've seen anybody talk about it as part of maintenance. But so I'll show you what I was doing. So here's the piece of worn out random orbit sandpaper that I have. This one's like 120 or something like that, and that I used to clean off that wheel. So if you watch right here, so I can get it to recreate what just happened. Oh, there it is right there. So if you watch right here, see that bump right there? Roll it through a couple times, try and get you a good view. See it right? So it's right here, and I saw this big bump, and I'm like, what the hell is that? Well, look at what it is. You see it right here where my finger is? That big chunk of sap in there. It's all hardened. It's all stuck in here. So I'm going to go ahead and take that out too. I'll go around the rest of the wheel, make sure there's no more chunks in there. But that's oh, sorry, making your band jump around as it's going through. Now, is it affecting the cutting? I don't know, but it's certainly going to affect your belt, and certainly vibration and stuff like that. But this right here is a huge chunk. kind of need to go around this thing. This thing could probably use a good solvent cleaning, actually. Just maybe get some solvent and clean this thing out so that the belt seats well. Just make sure I have no more in there. So I think this is definitely a kind of a general maintenance item that is definitely overlooked, because I've never seen anybody talk about it. I just kind of watch my belt. Oh. Yeah, there's a bump there. Yep. I tell you, it's the way to find them. It's the way to find them for sure. You just roll it through and watch the edge of the belt. It's right there. And sometimes the ones up against the front of the wheel on this side are the hard ones to, or the hard ones to see, the hard ones to get out, but I can see it now that I see where the belt's jumping around. Now this is not Norwood specific, guys, so if, you know, I don't want this to come off as a problem with Norwood. This will happen with anybody. I'm almost wondering if it happens inside here, but for now it's just pretty much over here. That's just from cutting and crap getting splashed around in here. But it's real easy just to watch the edge right here. Oh, there's one right there. Roll it through and I can see where it's bulging right there. There's just a little bit on the inside here. This is the harder side to get off. Yep, there it is. A bunch of stuff just fell out. Kind of got to be a little careful you don't get your fingers pinched in here. It looks like there might be some right here. Just a little bit. So I think in all honesty, I think, you know, it might almost even be simpler when you do get buildup in here. If you don't have a tool that'll do it, you know, you could almost sharpen a screwdriver to do this, or to just take this wheel right off and then just hose it down with some solvents and stuff and throw a wire wheel around it and clean it out. It'd probably be faster to do that. I don't remember. So there's a set screw in here, and just loosen that set screw, take this wheel right off and clean it like that. But this is just how I've been doing it. It's not like I'm saying this is the right way. This is just how I've been doing it since I found the problem. And there's a lot of shit in here, especially since I've been cutting pitch pine. And what it's doing is it's keeping the belt from seating correctly. And also, one thing that can do also is down here, if that belt doesn't ride all the way in the groove, it's going to change the height of the band. So if that runs over a bump, it's going to make the band bump down, and it's going to be doing it so fast that it actually could change the cut. So, you know, this thing needs to be cleaned out in here, and I've never seen it talked about. I've never seen anybody do it. And maybe I haven't looked. Maybe somebody's got a good video on doing this, but this screwdriver cleans it up pretty good. And I don't really see any bumping in it now, so that looks like it kind of fixed it. Let's get you back. I'll let you guys. We got 20 minutes in here. I'm going to pause this, throw a band on, get ready to cut, and see what we have to do here. So I'm going to put you guys on pause. When you come back, we'll be all ready to go. All right, so I got the mill warming up. I got some windshield washer fluid in it, minus like 20 stuff. The wife grabbed me some at Walmart yesterday. So see the blue in there. I emptied the other stuff out the other day because it was getting cold. So let's see if we can get this thing setting on the mill right. So I can see, I can make a full width cut. Might be faster just to trim this off. You can see this is pretty dry. Pick it up easy. I think, let me just fire up the small, so I'm just going to cut a chunk off right here real quick. It's a little John, hold on, let me shut this off. Warmed up now. It's a little John Cutter climbing. This is my climbing saw. So I've actually converted this little John Cutter over to Husqvarna micro chain. Husqvarna bar to micro chain. This thing cuts like a freaking laser beam. I cut all that stuff up the other day for the bonfire we had on Thanksgiving, and it cuts incredible. I have a video on that if you want to go back and look at it. I do have a new addition to the family coming. I got a 372 XP coming, OEM 372 XP. Guy that owes me some money bought a whole pile of them when my local steel Husqvarna dealer had converted over models, and all the ones that they had left he bought. They gave him a good price, and he bought like, I don't know, 6 or 8 or 10 of them. The ones they had left when they changed models, they're older 372s, and he's got a bunch of them down in his basement that he's been keeping for his guys, a big landscaping company. And I said to him the other day, I'm looking for a smaller 70cc saw. I was going to build one, but if you want to give me one of those 372s, I'll take some off your bill. And he came back to me yesterday and said yes. So I've got a 372 coming, and it's going to be pimped a little bit. So I want to use that as my around-the-mill small saw. All the saws that I have are either like climbing saws or my wife's saws or my saws, which are all 100 cc's, big monster ported. Pains in the ass to start when you just want to cut something up. So I have a 272 XP that's been my baby for a long time. There's something wrong with where the recoil cover seats, and I tore up a couple recoil covers, so I have to tear that saw down and find out what's going on. But I got 372, brand spanking new, no hours, never run 372 coming. So we're gonna get this thing kind of centered up here. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna skim down the top really quick. We're gonna skim this top off. When I see what's underneath this, and if I do see a clear 8-inch board, we'll probably flip it on its side and cut that 8-inch out. We're going to see how this goes. It's too thin here for it. The piece is going to have to probably come out of this side here. There's an inclusion right here and some dirt in here. Hopefully it doesn't. You got an old blade, an older blade on here, so I'm not going to tear up a band. We're just going to have to see how it goes, see how it tears out. I know it's going to be pretty looking wood inside. I want my guides all the way down. Oh shit. I thought I got some of that stuff out of there. I'm going to clear out under my log stops. They don't go all the way down. That's one reason why I cut that edge off right there, was so this stop would have a place to sit against. That's all the way down. It looks like it's okay right there, so we'll try to get some. It's a little crooked. I'm not going to really worry about that. It looks like I'm clear for running over it. It's a fairly wide piece right there. It's the only reason I say that, but it's a little crooked like this. I don't really see any reason to straighten it right now. I'm just going to try and get it dogged down, and then we'll take a chunk off it and we'll see what it looks like. It's a long ass video for just to see what's inside this log. And of course, this is one of the issues right here. I've got to get this that way. Might be able just to not dog this here. See if I can just dog it here. See if it'll hold it. Feels like it's sitting pretty flat. Feels like I can't really move it. So I think get this dog down out of the way. That's the old forgotten dog trick there, that you know, you go along and you hit that one because you're not paying attention. So we'll take the top off this and we'll see what happens. Let me give you get you over here so you can kind of see the cut and view. Hopefully this band runs fine in this. And we'll see what we're going to get. Let's see what's going on with our sideways view here. Oh, sideways. All right. So let's cut at it. 30 minutes in. I got some shit in my way over here. I'm trying to get out of. Just let my water run cold for a second. Second, 12 bid, it's really going to be a nice chunk. I want to see where I got to get to. Let's see where 6 feet is. think he only needs 5. So 5's here. So let's just say the shits and giggles we gotta get to right here-ish. That's our dead point. We're good to here. That's like his drop dead point. So somewhere between these two is where we want to get an 8-inch chunk out of. 8-inch wide. 1.5 inches thick. And this piece right here, I'm going to show you this piece. This piece is not going to do it. Show you this wood really quick. It's gorgeous. If anything, it'll make a beautiful oar. Check out this spalted maple. It's pretty. So I'm going to take it down a little more, and so what I'm going to be keeping an eye on is my height off the mill. I don't want to go below, not below. I don't even want to get 2.5 inches. I'd like to be able to flip it and true both sides if I can. So I'm going to keep coming down until I start getting close to that 1.5 inches thick. Then I'll probably flip it on its side and get it in where it's at. This 1.5 inches thick and possibly get that piece out of this, but I think this crack's too big to do anything with. We're getting down into really usable wood. Like I said, I'm at 3 7/8 right now. Hopefully I can get 8 inches to the right of this crack. Get rid of this fissure here. So I'm gonna come down a little more. Beautiful wood. Oh my God, what a beautiful piece. I'll show you. If anybody wants to see the money shots, I'll show you what I'm looking at. Look at how beautiful spalted that maple is and gorgeous. So you got a little bit of a crack right there, a couple of cracks right there. And obviously the big fissure right here. So I think this is no good from here over. It's gonna have to come out of that side. So now keep in mind the shape of an oar, that this end could be the handle end and the other end could be the oar end if I can get these cracks to go away. It looks like they stopped. So we'll keep coming down. I'm just trying to figure out how much I want to come down. I think because of these cracks, it's off to the side. I'm just going to come down 1 inch and take another skim cut. Hopefully we're pretty much in clean wood now.
Yeah.
Wow, look at this piece, huh? Look at that slab. How beautiful is that? That is gorgeous. I think we're getting pretty close to clean wood here. Nice chunk through here. The cracks are gone. So right now I'm at 2 3/4. Right now, I can give him his his chunk. If he took his handle out of this end, he's got plenty. Anything that's going to encroach down here. There is one little crack down here, but it's not that bad. What I need to do, I need to clean up the other side. I got to be really careful right now, guys. So I've got this crack, and I've got a little rot chunk right here that can go away. What I don't want to do is I don't want to take a skim cut right now and find out there's a crack on the other side. Right now I could take 1.5 inch thick cut and I think give him a good chunk. I think what I want to do is I want to flip it up and mill this off. Just take this chunk right off. Man, what a beautiful, this was just a waste piece of wood. What a beautiful piece of wood. And then flip it over and get myself a straight edge on this side, maybe. Does that even make a difference? Let's see what's on the bottom. If there's no real big checks on the bottom, I think I'm gold. There really, there's a check in the end right here through this piece here, so I need to kind of go a little longer. There are no other checks in the bottom other than this, and there's a little check right here. So let's see what that looks like lengthwise. Sorry this is going to go slow. It's just I got to be careful. I don't think I can get his thickness here. It's going to be close. If I could get his thickness here, it really wouldn't be a problem. You know, there is a check here, but so if I go there, I got 5 feet to here. So I think what I want to do is I want to take another skim cut off this, get rid of the trash, get rid of some of this check. Thick, inch and a half. Wow, it does. It will clean up here. That's actually going to clean up at about 2. This area here is going to clean up at about 2, and that gives me a ton more material to work with. I'm at 2 3/4 right now. So if I took out 1.5 inches, and that kind of, that really limits me on that other side. In other words, I could cut 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches right now and give them 2 pieces technically. Give them this piece and the piece below it. The question is, do I want to clean up the other side and just come down 1.5 inches and give them both chunks? Well, I can't end up with 1.5 inches twice. I can't. What am I saying? I'm not at 3. A 3 1/8. I can't end up with 1.5 inches twice. I got to do this careful. So I got those checks. There's basically no checks on this side except for that. On the end. I think I want to clean up. I don't want to come down anymore. I want to take a chunk out of this side, see what we got, if I can get it. It's going to be a tough side to get dogged down. I need to cut some flats on it. I won't be able to dog it, so I got to cut some flats on it. Won't make a difference if I do this. I'm going to take this edge off straight. I'm not hurting myself here. So that's like 20. Like 17 on this side is in here. That's like really close to where I could get 1.5 inches out of. Yeah, it's really close. It's really, really close. To bring that in up a little bit. I went to 18. Eighteen's like right here. I think if I just cut it off at 18, I think I'm okay. Let's see if I can get a dog on it. Take this off at 18 and give myself a flat side here, because that way when I flip it over I can have something to hold on to. There are some cracks in the side. see. I'll do my best. This crack right here. It's kind of a funky spot here. I want to get this crack kind of at the same height as this funky spot right here. You might have to angle it. I think I can take it off at 16 and get rid of most of the bad wood. Yeah, it's perfect. There's no big imperfections in the bottom. And just give them the best chunk that we can give them. Still get some blame here. these log stops. That's huge. Huge convenience. Now, I think drop this here. Don't think I can get a dog on this part because it goes up. So I'm going to try to skim this side. See what these checks look like before I get down to dimension here. Try to skim it right now at 2.5 and see if I can get a full cut out of it. Dog it here. I can move it that way and get it on those two. No, I can't. No, I can't. See if I get this dog here just to make this pass. Alright, that's good and clear for this pass. We'll get this pass done. Do it, guys. The chunk could come out of here. Looks pretty good right here. Getting really close here. I think. We'll take one more skin cut here. I'll show you what this thing looks like right now. It's pretty decent. God forbid I threw some water on it. Oh my God, it's beautiful. So there are some checks right there. I've almost got his paddle though in this clean wood out here. I'm going to take another skim pass off this, see what happens to those checks in the middle, see if I can get rid of them. I'm just going to take a look down the side too and see how flat I'm cutting. It's getting a lot of sparks on that pass. It's cutting pretty flat. I obviously dinged something up when that thing moved. So it's at 2.5. Let's come down to 2.25. Cutting at 2 inches right now, and then I'm going to flip it over and cut it to 1.5 inches, and that'll give me most. Might have just messed up. I might have taken too much off that bottom because I might have thinned it out where I couldn't afford to, but look at this piece. What an awesome slab right there. I'm going to flip it over now. I might have messed this up. I don't think I did because I think that was too thin. I don't think I did because I think I was too thin on this thin part right here anyway. I think, and I did get rid of all these checks in here, and I think the chunks either going to come out of, can't come out of here because it's too thin here. So I think the chunk's got to come out of here, and I'm all good wood there. So let's flip it over and let's see what we're working with. We'll take it to 1.5 inches. Yeah. So right now, I think we're good. I think the whole thing's going to come out of this one chunk on this side, I think. See if we get it knocked down good. just go right to 1.5 inches. We'll cut it off. And he's got his piece. You can go to canoe paddle making with a beautiful piece of wood. This is a gorgeous piece of wood. You know, could I have got something out of this chunk of wood just cutting it up for a slab? Maybe. Probably would have been more likely I would have given it away for something. But let's go to 1.5 inches and cut it. And I think his paddle's coming right out of here. And I think that this cut's going to get rid of this section right here. And we don't have to worry about that thin section. Or he could go sideways maybe and do it like that. So. So, awesome. Most of the checks, pretty much all the checks. Let's take a look at this piece of wood right here. It's a really cool chunk of wood right there. So he can choose however he wants to take his paddle out of it. He's over length, and he's got a pretty good sized blank here, and it's dry. So with this, he can either go this way, which I think is what I would do, is probably go a little bit like this. Yeah, I think I would go from here into there. Yeah, that's a pretty cool piece of wood. He could come the other way, but I don't think that makes any sense. You got that thin spot here. I think it makes the most sense to have his, probably his either his handle there, is, this is the best piece of wood right here, and right here. I think you just come across like that, and I think he's good. I think most of this spalting's going to go away when he carves it down. I think that's pretty cool. Check out this piece. Look at how beautiful that slab is. It's a nice chunk of wood. You can see that one check right there that there's nothing I could do about. But he's over length right now. I think his length only needed to be to like here. So he's got all this here is extra. And I think he can work to the side of that on this side and up into here, and I think he's got plenty. And I think that little piece of spalting right there is going to go away because I think it's really thin right now. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And if it doesn't work for him, then we'll cut him a piece of white oak. But hour 5. God, I can end up in an hour, can't I? I will tell you one thing, for the few people that hung on to the end here. I am getting about sick of adjusting those guide blocks on the HD36, and I'm thinking about going to roller guides. I just can't keep them in adjustment, no matter how much I try. I mean, I find it only takes seconds, I realize that, but I find myself just adjusting them every single blade change. Could I leave them most of the time? Probably, but it's definitely, it's getting old. So yeah, that's the chunk right there. Man, it cut, that band cut great. On the other side, this side here, I think it was really hard. It was hard pushing, but man, it cut so smooth. I don't know how well it's going to show up, but I mean, if I took you out of this to show you this, I don't know how well it's going to show up, how smooth this cut. But I'm putting my hand in here. I mean, it cut like crazy smooth, like insane smooth. I mean, there's no lines in it. There's literally no lines in it. I mean, now I can see some right here. See those right there? But over here, there's nothing in it. It's perfectly smooth, like it was planed. And then you can see some lines in it out there where that thing was going blah, 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 like that. You can see some right there. You can see a few right there, but overall, holy shit, look how smooth that is right there. I get you zoomed in. Look how smooth this is. Next to my hand. That's how much of a close-up you're getting. Wow, that cut smooth. Like, holy shit smooth. Let's see the other side. Yeah, same thing. Holy crap. Look how smooth this is right here. Zoomed way in by my fingers. I mean, I'm zoomed way in right now, guys. Look how smooth that is. So, kind of cool. It's a cool piece. I think it's going to be a really cool ore. Not really sure what the process is and what he's going to impregnate it with and stuff like that. I don't really know. But I think he's got plenty of wood. He's going to start in that chunk there and go like that, I think. So his blank will come out of this section like that. Starting, he's got all the way up to here and then all the way through there. I think that's, you know, could he go straight down this one side? Sure. I think that the best wood, I don't know how thick that spalting is, and I don't think it's very thick at all now. And if I made another pass, it might go away. But I think the best wood is there and there as far as like the hardest stuff. You can tell by the color. The pinker stuff is like the harder stuff. So I think he could go across, but we'll see. See how it goes. So I'm going to shoot him a text, let him know I got his piece, put the mill to bed, and I got to go inside, get Danny, bring him out, and figure out what I'm going to do out here today. So hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for the watch. Sorry it's so long, but that's the way my videos go. Let me get my glove off. Oh, there goes another load of logs. There's Ralph. There's Midovac. It's Pirate Solutions out.